919 FM. Your morning of impact. Sam Marshall shares uplifting stories and conversations with people making Johannesburg and the world a better place.
We've just gone live. You're listening to the Social Impact Show. There was such a robust discussion off air with our regular. I'm just going to take liberties. You are the greatest. You are awesome. Cutie pie. It's Charmaine Subramani. It's the Wealth Zone. We do it every Tuesday. Charmaine, how are you doing? Mpilo and I have been showering everybody with compliments the whole day, and we think it's your turn. You are so smart. You're so accomplished. You're so amazing. How are you doing?
Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm doing fabulous.
How are you ignoring the compliments? You're supposed to say thank you. It's wasted on this one. Look. Okay, last week we started having a conversation about right? Every week in the Wealth Zen, we unpack all the latest information tidbits we share with our audiences. We're on this journey together. How are you feeling this week?
I'm doing great, Sam. It's been a busy week.
You look great. You look fabulous. You look amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you look like a model today.
Mpilo, please help save me because we need to focus.
You look like you walked straight out of a Vogue catalog. I'm just shouting. I'm giving praise. You know, the guys.
I appreciate it, Sam.
Thank you.
And then whilst we're in the conversation,
can you say something nice to me too?
Sam, it's okay. I honestly mean it. I feel incredible being in studio with you. It's been with you and Mpilo.
Can you give me another one?
It's been a while since I've been in studio.
Yes.
I know you guys host an incredible show and spread love and light, and I appreciate you, both of you.
Can I get another compliment? Make it 3.
Sam, what's with the compliments?
Okay. You've run out of compliments?
I'm generous by nature, I always do.
I gave you 15 compliments. You only gave me 3. Next week, I expect 4. Okay, let's continue. On this journey, please keep score, Mpilo. Please keep score. 15 compliments. She's only given me 3. Okay. By the way, really love your jacket. That's 16. Okay, so let's go with A today. We talked about being an asset last week, and we continue that conversation. Don't laugh at me because you were mean to me before we went on air. So I want audiences to see how mean you are to me.
Sam, I love you. I'm trying to...
That's 5.
Focus.
Keep it okay. Cool.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. We're on this incredible journey.
Yes,
and
we are.
Today, I think we should build on the concept of being an asset.
Yes.
And
you are an asset to this show, by the way.
I appreciate that.
16.
Thank you, Sam. I'm going to get the end of this. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's stop this, Sam, and let's get into the vibe.
Let's get into the vibe.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's keep
moving. Because you bring
moving.
a great vibe with you to studio. 17. Okay, go.
Mpilo, produce.
He's on the same level as me. Okay, anyway, let's go. Yeah.
Pointer making.
Yes.
Today
we started this incredible journey. We talked about being an asset.
Absolutely. And one of the and you so eloquently, Sam, last week.
Another one.
Actually describe what being an asset is and how you can create value. And you asked me a question which I didn't really answer because I was focused, and last week's show to an extent is indicative of how not to have effective conversations. Seriously, but I'll elaborate on that, and the points our focus today
not having an effective conversation
is one aspect of being an asset is being able to actually communicate effectively.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
And last week you asked me a question. Instead of responding to you directly, I was so focused on actually finishing what being a valuable asset is, and I didn't answer you. And I was reflecting on it this morning and during the week, actually, and having been in boardrooms and in certain situations just yesterday as to how hard people find it to have conversations that could put you in a potential of not being liked.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And the ability to be able to have effective conversations.
Is that being honest in your conversations?
Being honest.
Some people don't like honesty.
Yeah. It's about being honest. It's about not going with the general consensus. But we're not going to talk about that now. So let's talk about how do you improve your value as an asset, and what does it take to have effective conversations? Okay, Sam. So from a family perspective, from a community perspective, from a company perspective, like in boardrooms, from a country perspective, and from a world perspective. Because if every single one of us master, and it's not easy, but it's possible, everything's possible, you know that, Mpilo. It's not easy.
Except growing taller, Mpilo.
Mpilo, the person that I love most in this room is yourself. The challenge most people face is is this where I should be leaving?
No.
And come back
No, we're
next
listening
week?
to you. I think everything is possible until it's impossible. Okay, but
most things are
that's
the point I'm making.
No,
most
I
things
agree
are
with you,
actually possible.
I agree with
and most of the challenges and the most of the issues that we actually face is either we choose not to have the conversations because it's hard, or we don't have effective conversations, or we don't have the tools to have conversations that allow for a productive dialogue. It's sometimes they stalemates, and that's the reality of things. Mpilo, you're giving me the stare. Are you listening? Okay, great, thank you. So Sam, are you with me?
Yes, I am. I think it's valuable what you're saying. No, it is. It really is. You know what? Not to irritate our listeners, we're just in a good mood. Today's a great day to be alive. And,
Sam, you need to understand.
Yes.
People sign in or dial in to listen to us, wanting to be able to get some level of value.
By now,
and I don't think
by now
this banter.
By now, our people know us. So you were saying that it's our people; they know us. You're talking about the value of being an asset. I agree with you. And it's how to become a valuable asset. That's the question. We're literally all laughing in the studio. I don't know. I think it's just our energy. We're great. Hopefully you're laughing along with us and you're not irritated. You're not switching to the other radio station, the one that makes you feel bad. You're staying with this one. Okay,
let's get rolling.
Serious business. Put it on. Okay, cool. Let's go.
So we do have what we need to understand is our circle of influence.
Yes.
And what is our circle of influence?
And we've talked about it in the past.
Being able to know what we can control. There's a lot that we can actually control, but often we just allow external factors to be able to impact our mood. I'm going to look at you because they can't look at him. Okay, so what is the right approach to having difficult And Sam, you actually asked me this last week, right?
Yes.
How do I have conversations with somebody that is not willing to listen to me? And you made such a pertinent point about how important it is to pause and breathe. And sometimes we don't actually give too much importance to the ability of when somebody says something, instead of responding immediately, take a moment to actually breathe. Breathe, reflect.
Think about it.
Think about it, absolutely, before you actually respond. And before you start, the worst thing anybody could actually do is avoid conversations. When you do not have the conversations, what it actually does, because you think it's easy. Yes, it's easy in the short term, but in the long term,
it builds up resentment. It builds up. Yeah.
Absolutely, Sam. It's resentment. It's hate. It's what, even if the person does good, because you've not had the opportunity to offload, what do? You don't see the good or the pure intentions of it. And therefore, effective conversations is a must if you want to be a valuable asset. Because effective conversations take you to a piece of progress. It takes you to a piece of movement. It takes you to a place of peace. Actually, we wouldn't have war.
But can I ask a question?
What?
Can I be the devil's advocate here? Mm-hmm. What if the way, and let's not talk boardroom. That's a different conversation. Let's talk between two people that know each other, that live in the same house. What if the way you approach the conversation is already triggering? Some people have a way of bringing up the same stuff over and over. Because, as the experts tell us, you've not resolved it, right? So because you've not resolved it, it will always creep up. So if we're arguing about, let's say, for example, not taking out the trash, if we're arguing about the person being late to pick you up, if you're arguing about something that hasn't been done, the thing that hasn't been resolved is somehow the underlying thing, and it always comes up. So what if your method of communicating, and because you use the same words, is triggering, and then there's this idea, oh, I know what you're going to say. I've heard it before.
Okay, Sam,
You know?
it is, okay, so what we need, we can control how we choose to respond. We can control our emotions if it's important enough for us to have a dialogue that's going to move us forward. Point I'm actually making.
Okay.
It is critical for us not to get emotional and regulate your emotion. I can regulate mine. I can't regulate Mpilo's, or I can't regulate yours.
Yeah,
That's
you
out
can't.
of my control. However, the way I choose to listen to you, the words that I actually choose, instead of using blaming words, validate that particular person's feelings. Yeah, I understand, and I'm sorry I'm late today, and I know this irritates you, and it was not my intention to do so. It's the way you respond to that stuff. And yes, you could be late for matters that are really, really important, but it's not about you right now. It's about how you respond to that person's emotion. The intention is to be able to listen, to validate their feelings, allow them to be heard. Do not pass blame. You don't say, oh, I always do this for you, but you don't actually appreciate it.
Oh, this is the first time I'm late, and you're late all the time. Something like that.
Don't. The intention for progressive dialogue, or when you're having these dialogues and conversations, you want to do it because it's important to you. You do we're talking about people in our families and things of that sort. Why is the divorce rate so high? Because people don't have effective conversation.
No.
They allow resentment to fester. They allow, do you know, if we can just it's not easy.
Yeah.
Mpilo, my words, but it's possible. And we need, everything takes, anything good takes time, effort, mastering these skills, and don't be manipulative. Effective conversations is not about manipulation. It's about seeing them, understanding them, being empathetic to why they feel that way. And asking open questions. What does open questions actually do?
It allows the person to be able to engage without feeling judged, and it's exploratory in its nature, as opposed to coming to a conclusion.
Absolutely. It gives them an opportunity to be able to express themselves. Don't interrupt.
Yeah, I was
Just
about
don't.
to.
No, but you and I are different. We're having a conversation.
Can I ask a question? Let me interrupt. I don't know why people do this, but some people will tell you, well, you know, I'm the quiet type, and once it becomes too much, I explode, right? And they kind of carry that the same way an archetype in a movie, the strong but silent type, right? And then one day it all explodes. Is it better to bottle it up, keep it for the sake of not having an argument? Or is it better to have these micro conversations on a regular basis to say, because some people go, but then that person is nagging. So how do you approach it? Because there is the strong silent type, I will suffer in silence, not everything I should rise to, not everything this person does is meant to offend me. And then there are those that they want to talk about everything. And some people will see that as a good thing, and some people see that as a negative thing. So how do we find the modus operandi that works for you, or as a couple, or as a person?
Sure. Okay, but let's look at it from a perspective of a couple. You need to go back to the why you guys are together.
Okay.
You know, sometimes we don't give credits to why is it that we got together. What is it that we want to actually achieve together? It's all about the conversation needs to go to a point of solution where we both together are going to collaborate to get to the outcome we so wish. So those effective conversations, Sam, because I can control a lot. I can control the fact that I use I in the conversation and not you. I feel this way for the following reasons. It's not like you always do this. You're always late.
Because I get your back up.
That definitely gets you back. So it's about understanding why is it that we want to have this conversation, how important our relationship really is, and how do we navigate this place together. Yes, the silent type may not have the courage or may not have the conviction to really express themselves. And if it's important enough to you, or to me for that matter, then we need to create the environment that allows us to have these conversations. And Sam, it's not easy, but it is possible, and it needs to actually happen. You need to validate their feelings. You need to be empathetic.
And is that how you build the asset?
You have to. You have to understand the way you feel, but don't just say it because I told you to say it. You need to say it because you really, really need to put yourself in their shoes. You need to learn to regulate your emotions. If I use a tone to you that's like, and my body language and everything goes, I'm listening to you, but I wish I could punch you in your face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How would that conversation go?
Very different.
So it's not just about what you say.
It's the body language.
How you say it. It's how you look at them in the eye, listen attentively, validate their feelings, because not everybody wants to be angry for the sake of being angry. There's an underlying reason. The conversations are to be able to understand what is it we're feeling, why we're feeling, and how together we could navigate the space and get to the place that would really, really, really help us be better. That's what conversations is. It's about empathy. It's about understanding what's in your control, understanding why you're doing it, how you want this to move forward. It's not manipulation, but it's a level of influence and persuasion in your choice of words, in your body language, in your if they're ranting, raving, performing, give them the space to do it. Let them. Oh my God, amazing. Let them. But you don't mirror that. You listen, you give them space, ask the open questions, allow them to ask you questions, and that's how we move forward.
But you are the company you keep. So, yeah?
Yes, you are the company you keep.
Go ahead.
No, let's finish that.
You are the company you keep. So you could be, and I always look at couples in an interesting dynamic. Whenever I'm out and about, I look at a couple, and sometimes you see a fitness couple and you go and you wonder, so who's the fitness one and who's got into fitness, or were they both into fitness? Then you look at a couple who's kind of unhealthy, they overweight, they seem to be eating whatever is in front of them, and you kind of look at who's adopted whose personality, and over time you kind of rub off on each other, whether that's positively or negatively. How do you, in terms of what you're saying, don't be reactionary, be willing to engage authentically, don't mirror aggression. Instead of having the you conversation, it's the I feel this kind of way about things. Ask open-ended questions. But what if you are in an endless cycle of we've picked up bad habits in the way we argue? If you put them in separate rooms, she or he will tell you, but I used to argue, I never used to get personal, and then over the years she became personal or he became personal, and I've adopted that style of attack. How do you get out of the habit of, once you've learned bad ways of communicating, bad ways of fighting with each other, where it's easier to go for kind of the low hanging fruit than take the high road? How do you unlearn those negative things that you've either got from him or her, or it's just through your evolution as a couple, you've just become bitter?
You just have to develop your EQ. When you talk about you as an asset, it's about being so self-aware about you, about the things that irritate you.
That piss you off. You can say piss off because we're adults. We're not children.
The things that actually irritate you and all of those things. And you need to be reflective, Sam, and basically ask the question, how important is this to me? And what am I going to do to be able to move it in the direction? Sometimes you would need external intervention in terms of a counselor, a marriage coach, and things of that sort. But Sam, if you demonstrate, or if we demonstrate, it's about us conversation. It's not about you and I. It's about us. If we want this bad enough, and we demonstrate kindness, we demonstrate empathy, we take accountability for our stuff. So like you don't, but you always like, I feel overwhelmed when you actually do not include me in decision making. Help me understand why that it is, and how could we do it differently to be able to get to certain outcomes. There's no blame there. It's like understanding, clarifying, help us understand.
But you might need to have that conversation more than once.
That's the fact of life. To master anything, to become effective at anything, it's about trial, refinement, understanding, reflecting, and going back. You need to be able to put in the time and energy to make this arrangement, situation work. And what does it do? It helps you become effective in your communication. It improves your level of EQ. And there's been enough research that's been done, Sam, where they say those with a high level of EQ, where they're aware, they reflect, they understand, they listen, they know how to respond. When's the right time to responding? When somebody's high rate, you're not going to go like, oh, we need to have this conversation now. It's like, I saw this.
You might have to give them a cooling down period. Or
even
yourself.
I felt helpless that I couldn't help you at that stage. Can we please have this conversation for me to better understand what is it about me that triggers certain situations? But yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this week, and it's a thing that we have to do in terms of we can still continue this conversation next week, but. What are the big takeaways that we have to think about this week?
I think about, first ask yourself as to whether I am an effective communicator. And if not, what is it that I could improve on? And go seek those lessons to be able to, practice, be aware of, and start implementing. You can have all the knowledge in the world, Sam. But if you don't actually implement it and take action, there's no way you are going to become that asset. It's about the doing, learning, and refinement that you will actually increase your value as an asset.
Just spending this 20 minutes with you, I already feel like I'm an asset in our area.
Sam, it's just been great being here, and just love and light to you, Mpilo, and all our listeners. Have a great day.
I have no idea why she only gave you love and light and nothing towards me. But anyway, I think I just get darkness and sadness and you get love and light. Okay, next week we're back. Charmaine Subramani, who is this smart kid on the block, is not only doing mentorship for a lot of people, but she sits on the board. She's a hard worker, and this is what we do every week. We're on this journey together, and we are going to grow together. They can hear you. They can hear you, by the way, Charmaine. They can hear what you're saying because the mic is on.
I just said I love you, and I'm not coming back.
I still have to teach Charmaine radio etiquette. So this is what we do every week. It's called the Wealth Zen. Thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate you, Charmaine.
I appreciate you.
To our listeners, get in contact with Charmaine. Charmaine, where can they email you if they want to get a hold of and unpack more issues?
Sam, I am the change and free at gmail.com. On that note, though, regarding our conversation last week, somebody did email me, and I do have the one page on the ETFs that we spoke about. So
yeah, just very quickly remind our audience what the ETFs are.
The ETFs was the type of assets that you could actually buy on the stock exchange. They're passive shares, and they're low cost, and they help you create wealth, actually. So I have a one-pager listing the platforms, the popular sort of ETFs, and how you could go about starting your investment journey.
I love it. And I am the change
and free at gmail.com.
There we go.
919 FM, your morning of impact. Sam Marshall shares uplifting stories and conversations with people making Johannesburg and the world a better place.